That's what it is when you go live, baby. Welcome to the big screen. It is Mindset Monday. Y'all ready to get to it? Let's go. Before the breakthrough and building before bandwidth. What does that actually mean? Building before bandwidth. I'm going to get into it, but I want you guys to get into the mind of yourself before you get into the mind with me, because we're not talking trading tonight. We're talking about where you're going, how you're going to get there, and where you are now. So this is episode number 1, before the breakthrough, building before bandwidth. What are you currently building that hasn't shown visible results yet? See, my original vision 3 years ago, when I moved out here on this acre of land out here in Georgia, I had one clear goal: to build something online that could replace my job's income. The vision was not vague. The commitment was not casual. The direction was crystal clear. What wasn't clear was the terrain that I'd have to navigate. The obstacles that I faced weren't always the ones I expected. Sometimes the biggest barriers aren't internal. They're environmental, logistical, hidden beneath the surface. See, I'm going to talk about the constraints that nobody sees. Take this as I'm pouring it out, put it into your life, but I'm giving it to you through my perspective. And you might be going through something that nobody sees. What was it for me? I wanted to build a business online that would replace my job's income. Moved out here, acre of land, big, beautiful house, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 2-car garage, no fiber. Too far from infrastructure hubs. No, not even Comcast. There's not even no coax cable. There's no service providers don't even reach out here where I am. The only thing that I had, and before I moved, I did check, guys. I did check, and AT&T was out here, and they said, yeah, they have fiber. So I just knew I was set. When the technician came out here and he ran the line, he said the closest beige box to you is 2 miles away. Only thing we have out here is copper. And the only thing that we can get you is 10 megs of speed. Dial up. Barely enough to stay connected. I mean, I'm so far outside of Atlanta that no internet provider can come this far. Like the little one, Spectrum. Nope. No Spectrum. There's a nope. Nothing came this far. AT&T thing, and my neighbors that are out here, everybody that's out here, 3/4 of an acre, everybody had AT&T. I was trying to build an online business and work from home with connection speeds that couldn't support consistent live streaming, uploads, or when it's time to go live and do collaborations just on Zoom with someone else, forget about it. That wasn't inconsistency on my part. That was constraint from the environment that I couldn't control once I signed the lease and moved out here. Sometimes what looks like lack of progress is actually lack of infrastructure. The invisible limitations, bandwidth, resources, access, shape our output more than we realize. But okay, I had the obstacles. But what did I keep doing? What kept getting built anyway? Even though I didn't have the speed I needed, even though I'm still using dial-up and still can't jump on Zooms and connect with people. They like, you're buffering, I can't hear you. You drop out and call back in. Even with limited speed and all those challenges, the work didn't stop. I kept building. I kept testing, kept refining because the vision remained clear, even when the path was difficult. So I got into my network marketing bag and started getting into different network marketing companies and testing models and building relationships, one-on-ones, and inviting people to see these different opportunities. And from that, created affiliate systems that generated sustainable income streams, not necessarily having to join somebody else's company, but creating my own affiliate system. And in the process, created a credit repair service, helping others build their financial foundations. And from there came the 750 Club. It was like, okay, now we got credit scores up. Everybody had decent credit scores. What's beyond that? What do we do now that we have good credit? Enter the 750 Club. And that's where we started having the one-on-ones at the mansion. And the mansion community is a virtual mansion that we meet up with every Sunday. It's kind of like a Zoom, but it's not square boxes where, you know, show your face. We all meet up at a virtual mansion, and that's where the 750 Club was birthed at. And from there, the physical product was born because, like, I'm limited with the internet speed and things. So I have to do what I did. And from that, I would write down 3 things that I had to do today to get me closer to my goal that I had wrote for the year. Every day I would write, what 3 things can I do today to get me closer to my goal for the end of the year? From that, I created the Beyond Your Vision Board journey. So, journal, I'm sorry. So, you know, a vision board is on the back of the wall. And like Beyond the 750 Club, what's beyond good credit? Creating a vision board and putting it on your wall. What's beyond a vision board? So, writing those 3 goals out and how do I get closer to my goals? I actually created the journey and documented the journey and the lessons, which brings us to my next product, which I created, which was the trading scanners, where I developed tools for market analysis for those that are looking in Bitcoin and futures and trades and Forex and stock market, a tool that is actually using for them to show them moving averages without emotion. And from there, birth wealth as a service, powered by Be Honest, where are building systematic wealth frameworks. All of that stemmed from having a challenge of how do I build an online business without online speed? See, that's the quiet discipline phase. There were no live streams for the past 3 years. No viral moments, no let me upload this and post this on Instagram. None of that. No applause. No social media validation. No one to say, "Hey, I saw him." All these likes. No public recognition of the work being done behind the scenes. Just ideas being tested in isolation. Frameworks being refined without feedback. Systems being shaped in silence, brick by brick, without anybody watching or cheering. See, this is the phase most people quit in. And it's not because they lack vision or determination, but because they mistake delay for failure. Confuse the absence of public validation with the absence of progress. Ladies and gentlemen, the quiet season that you're in is an emptiness. It's preparation. It's the foundation being poured that no one sees until the structure rises. Foundation and infrastructure changes everything. When my infrastructure changed, how did it start? Starlink arrived. Thanks, Elon. Bandwidth arrived. Stability arrived. Not 10 Mbps. Now we're at 300 and 400 Mbps. The terrain shifted. Not because I changed, but because the resources finally matched the vision. So this week, we launched our first 2 live streams using Ecamm. Same vision I started with 3 years ago. Same work ethic. Same determination that you have. Different terrain. The work that I've been doing in silence could finally be amplified. The systems I've been building offline could now reach people in real time. The foundation was ready for the structure to rise. What have you been preparing for that's waiting on infrastructure? Let's talk about the lesson that most people miss. It's not your mindset. It's strong. You know the direction that you're going in. You're not broken. You're not lacking mental strength. It's not your discipline. You've been showing up consistently. It's not your desire. Your vision has remained clear. It's the environment. Finally catching up to the vision you've never abandoned. Some breakthroughs, guys, aren't personal. They're logistical. Sometimes the delay isn't about your character. It's not about your commitment. It's not about your capability. It's about resources, timing, access, and infrastructure aligning with what you've been building all along. We do this every week, guys. This is episode 1. Why does Mindset Monday exist, you ask? Because this isn't about temporary motivation or feel-good platitudes. It's about creating a sustainable foundation for long-term growth. We want to normalize patience. Everything doesn't have to be in the microwave age. Understanding that meaningful progress takes time. And quiet seasons are part of everyone's significant journey. On Mindset Monday, this is where we're separating drift from discipline. Recognizing the difference between giving up and building strategically during challenging phases. Mindset Monday exists because we're building identity before the income. We're developing the character, the habits, and the mindset that can sustain wealth once it arrives. This space exists so you don't quit during the quiet phases that actually matter most. The foundation building seasons that determine whether your breakthrough will be sustainable or fleeting. the bridge moving forward. Now that the terrain is clear and the infrastructure is in place, we move into the principles that will guide our next phase of growth. Next week, we begin studying Napoleon Hill's timeless principles, not as abstract theory or empty hype, but as practical tools for people who already know what it feels like to keep building without applause. These aren't concepts for dreamers waiting to start. They're frameworks for builders who've already proven their commitment during the seasons when no one was watching you. Man, gave me some goosebumps just thinking about that. Our principle, we're going to do one principle a week. Deep study, practical application from week to week. And then we're going to do real world integration, where we're going to connect theory to your journey. I just shared my journey with you and where we are and how we got started and what took 3 years to get here. But we're going to connect the principle of the week to your actual journey, and then add sustainable implementation and build systems that compound over time. If you committed to studying and applying one principle per week, what will consistency look like over the next 90 days for you? What transformation becomes possible? My friend, you're not behind. You're not late. You're not broken. You're not behind. You may just be building before the bandwidth arrives. You may be laying foundation that can't be seen yet. You may be in the quiet discipline phase that determines whether your breakthrough will be sustainable. Welcome to Mindset Monday. This is where we normalize the journey, where we separate drift from discipline, where we build identity before income. In closing, I want you to ponder on this final reflection. What is one thing you can stop judging yourself for, starting tonight? What limitation can you reframe as a temporary constraint rather than a permanent failure? Look forward to seeing you guys next Mindset Monday. This is Deonis Royale, Digital Unk, signing out.